One, two, three.
What's going on here?
Hello, and what's going on here is X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. I am your host.
Is he human or mutant? It doesn't matter. Take him down.
What? You can't take me down. I'm running this dog and pony show. And with me, as always, is my co-host.
How can you call yourself a doctor?
Am I the dog or the pony in this show?
Skull Mesa, I should say, my name is, and with me is my co-host, Solar Dre.
That's right.
He calls himself a doctor.
Dr. Dre with an AK.
Well played.
That's my whole childhood in high school was references to Dre and Dr. Dre. And my cousin still often will say Dre with an AK to his face from one of the Eminem songs. So, yeah, it's my high school sweater says Dre on the arm.
Well, you know what? Let's get into it.
Well, let's catch up on old times.
What you think they doing up there?
Think they doing up there?
What are you gonna do up there, Shep?
Think they doing up there, Chef? So
What up there, Shep? Gonna go see Byron up there.
What were you doing up there? What were you doing up there at the library, Chef?
Byron's up there. Oh, what was I doing? Well, I was threatening a bunch of children not to step on their toes and come up with the next podcast, as indicated.
I'm glad you did that.
I was asked by a local person at the library to come and speak to kids and whoever, actually not just kids, or several adults there, but how to start their own podcast. So it all went pretty well until I had to get into RSS feeds, and then everybody kind of glazed over because whenever you get into the I did suggest to they really glommed on the idea of StreamYard because they liked the idea that everything was kind of done for them. So I feel as though if StreamYard's listening, you owe me some potential money for some hires.
There you go. Let's get our sponsors any way we can.
Yeah, it was good. It was good talk. I discussed this show. I discussed my other show, Graphic Histories. And cool. Some of them told me some of the ideas they had for podcasts, and some of them one of them sounds particularly good. I think she's really onto something. So,
oh wow,
yeah.
Oh man, there's so many still untapped podcasts out there.
Well, as part of my talk was about just like the you really got to find your niche. You know, to just say cartoons is pretty broad. To say 1993 Fox cartoon, the X-Men, is pretty streamlined, and that's I think that's a good example of niche targeting when it comes to your coming up with the concept for your podcast.
Niche is the only reason I started this show and approached you about it.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, you know what? I just like punched it in, couldn't find anything. So I'm like, let's do it.
I'm incredibly surprised that you were the first to do this, but I think I'm very happy we were. So yeah, we're trendsetters, trailblazers, if you will.
We are solars.
God, man, I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert for those that are just tuning into the show. This episode sucks. It really sucks. It's not good.
It's not a
this
good
may be
episode.
the worst rated episode of this show yet, in my opinion.
It's easily the worst episode yet.
It's quite bad. It's not good
because everything else has been pretty great. I think we've had maybe a couple episodes we were a little down on, but
we all knew, most part, like anybody who starts
gold.
Watching a favorite podcast and they start getting towards the end of it when it got canceled, we all know with this show that eventually you're headed towards the dark times when the show starts taking a dip in quality and animation, and we're getting there, and I think it's starting. So it sucks because it sucks to end this show. I mean, it has hope too. I mean, there's sadness that we're gonna have to deal with some episodes that are probably not great in the next little while, but also the hope of the new season, which should hopefully right some of those wrongs and bring us back to its former glory. So I'm pretty pumped for that.
Body slam anybody lately?
No. However, I am scheduling to I'm getting things put together for the wrestling show that I host here in Truro, March 25th. I did the poster today, and I got some sponsors lined up, so that's all good. Just got to start putting
I
together.
like your new T-shirt.
Oh yeah, I like that. I got a new one for a new breed as well, which I haven't posted yet, but that one's pretty neat as well. But you want to order one? $25. I'll send it to you in the mail. Cool. Yeah. So I'm actually completely out of shirts, so I'm well overdue to order more. But
sold out on the first round, did you?
Well, I've had various shirts for New Breed and for myself over the years, and last summer I sold the last of them. I think I had an event in Spring Hill, and it was packed, like packed, and I sold everything, so it was pretty cool. But yeah, so and I got a few gigs lined up for the coming year. So yeah, it's my calendar is filling up. My dance card is getting full already, and it's only February. So
very good.
Yeah,
bit of a delicate dance it is. Oh, everything's good. Found out that the new baby's gonna be another girl.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, thanks, man.
So, are you going to name this one Aurora or some other name that's X-Men related? I feel like you have to. Now that you missed the train in the first one.
Well, the middle name's probably going to be Jean.
Oh, really? Do you know the first name's going to be?
Probably Ursula. Yeah.
Really? That's a good name. I like that. That's a really solid name.
Ursula Jean.
Big fan of the villain from the Little Mermaid, are you?
She's my favorite. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
She squeaks out Scar as the best Disney villain for sure. I think Jafar is really good.
But... You know, who you say is the most disturbing Disney villain? Not the best, but the most disturbing.
Since we're talking about Disney.
Oh, very nice.
I found it.
Your goofy hat.
My goofy sweet. Hat.
That is very sweet.
Borscht.
Borscht.
Yeah. What Disney villain? What now? You said?
What would you say? Not the best, because that is colored by your opinion. But what do you say is the most disturbing Disney villain?
Oh well, I don't think there's even a question. It's Cruella de Vil.
No, I'm gonna do you one better. She had a whole movie to make you feel better and better.
I didn't see that. All I know is she skins puppies
for fashion
clothes. Yeah.
Maybe, well, I'm an animal guy, so yes, I can agree with you on that one. But I don't think she's the most disturbing. I feel like
who's worse than that?
Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. That may be the most disturbing.
I've never seen that one.
What? Oh my god!
Well, I've never finished it. I never liked it as a kid.
His whole motivation
that's when I got out of Disney.
Is burning Esmeralda alive because she won't have sex with him. Like he's like the ultimate.
That's really bad too.
Yeah, like, and he has this whole song about how if he can't have her, basically no one will, and it's all about lust and like how he's a priest and he's not allowed to act on these impulses, and it's all very disturbing and weird for Disney, but very interesting. So yeah, he is by far Frollo is by far the most disturbing. He's like the modern, like the classic, like online, incel, like the pre-incel, like the
interesting.
Yeah, he's very disturbing. And I remember even as a kid watching that movie being disturbed by like there's Cronenberg taps into this really well. There's an odd line of to me anyway, unease and discomfort around sexual based violence. So if it's like I love you so much or I'm so sexually turned on by you I have to murder you, that sort of stuff. Like that to me is very disturbing and taps into some weird dark part of the human psyche. So when Disney does it and uses it as a motivation for a villain, it stuck with me. It's disturbing.
Yeah, well, fair point. Fair point. I might have picked that one had I seen that movie. Let's catch up with some X-Goons. X-Goon Kelsey says, Spider-Man X-Men episode. Are you going to talk about it one day?
Probably on the Spider-Man when we do the Spider-Man podcast, because that actually was episodes of the Spider-Man show. So we'll probably delve into that one on that episode. But it'll be a nice little overlap.
What about X-Men Japan 2011? Jaemeel wants us to do that one, or was that Murphy?
I think someone suggested it as an in-between bit.
Wolverine,
Wolverine the X-Men I've never watched, but I wouldn't mind giving a go because I heard it was all right.
Fair enough. All right. Well, why did they go down in quality? Sam wants to know in animation. Sam, well, that's a twisted tale. But, I'm hoping to get them. try to find someone to get on the show that can explain it better than us.
Oh, are you? Do you have any leads on that?
No, I'll think of something.
just a dream, just a fever dream.
Yeah. Hashtag girl dad. Damn right.
Yeah,
Right.
100%. You're a 2-time girl dad now.
Yeah, man. I got one of these fancy mouse pads.
Devin, oh my god, that's adorable. Devin, I have to say, I'm slightly hurt that you did not plan on naming your child Andrea as I suggested, in honor of your favorite co-host. And I hope I hope Dave Mater and Jaemeel are listening, so they know that I am your favorite co-host. They must know this.
I need with Murphy and Dave Huxley. I have a lot of co-hosts.
I need to hear you say it, Devin. No, I'm just kidding. Otherwise, I'm out
Are
right
any
now.
of those guys listening? I don't know.
I'm kidding.
You're my favorite, Andre.
Oh, shucks. I wasn't fishing for that, but thanks.
I wasn't fishing for that at all. Did we mention we're here to review season 4, episode 7, Secrets Not Long Buried?
And what a review it's going
series
to be.
By Mark Onspaw.
Did Mark Onspaw write any more episodes of the
Larry
show?
Houston. Huh?
Did
Not
Mark
that
Onspaw...
no, I think it's just this one.
I don't want to crap on any particular person because I know it's a litany of voices that make it a show. But man, oh man.
And as friend of the show, Brooks Wachtel, told us sometimes they just had the ideas and you just put your hand up in the writer's room and like, I'll take that one.
Well, the idea of this episode is great. The execution, not so much. But we'll discuss it as we walk through it, I suppose. And the Secrets Not Long Buried. Episode 4, as you mentioned, season 7. Hold on, I had to skim back to the episode. All right, so as we begin our episode.
What are you doing?
I'm skimming. Why?
Previously on X-Men.
Oh, right, of course.
Previously on this.
Are you yelling at me or your computer?
Let him go, Wolverine. Worf knows what's best. If he can, he'll come back. He'll always be an X-Man.
He'll always be an X-Man. I like Xavier's voice. You know how I listened to Pedro Pascal. He's on SNL this past week, and he was talking about how his family back home in Chile is super proud of him, and they give his phone number out to anybody that they meet that likes The Mandalorian or some show he's on. And he says I would just get a phone call, and he'll be in public, and someone will ask him to do the Mandalorian voice for their kid, and he's like, most of the voice is in the helmet. He goes, the Mandalorian voice is like a bedroom voice. It's whether I can bring you in cold or I can bring you in hot, that sort of thing, or warmer and bring you in cold. And he was like, it's just doing that on a phone to a 7-year-old in public is very strange without the helmet doing the voice. I feel like a lot of Xavier's inflections is kind of that bedroom tone that no matter where he goes or what he does, it's kind of like Liam Neeson.
I think he's going for quiet wisdom.
X-Men.
Or something like that.
Yeah, but maybe I'm perverted. I think it's sex. So on to this episode in which we see another X-Man taking off in a ship.
It's all Xavier, even though Jean can just go every episode. But
that is true.
Anyway.
So we see another X-Man rocketing in an X-Men ship, and this time it's Cyclops, who is in the desert. He on a trip, he pulls a little shiny, sparkly statue that seems way too big to be able to carry in your breast pocket, but somehow he does, and pulls it out, looks at it, and has a flashback to a certain doctor who at one point was visiting Professor X.
Just all the different ideas in this episode.
There's a lot. I just threw a bunch of shit
at
you, and we're just starting, buddy.
You know Dr. Prescott. He never wants to accept recognition for the work he did in establishing a community where mutants could live in peace.
Expositionary dialogue.
An Xavier light.
Expositionary dialogue. Yes. So Taylor, I forgot his name already. Taylor Prescott. We see a flashback of a young him with 2 mutants visiting Xavier at the school, in which they're showing off their powers so that they get a little bit out of control. Cyclops is there in his old costume, which is always kind of fun to see. We don't see it lately. We've been seeing it more often than not, but it's still fun to see in the show. But we learn that Prescott is working with kids with mutant powers to try to help them, similar to Xavier, and you know that he's some kind of an associate of Xavier's, one that Cyclops seems to have an affinity for, one we've never heard of before, but Cyclops is going to check in on. As basically through the flashback, we learn that they sent this little statue over to Xavier as a memento, I guess, of the community that he's built in the desert. It's unclear as to where they are exactly. Somewhere in the desert.
Yeah, no, I think it's Skull Mesa.
Do they say North Dakota? Do they say Skull Mesa?
Yeah, it's Skull Mesa.
Okay, well, I'm going to guess
that's one of my X points later.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think it's in Arizona. Yeah,
well, that would make sense. So we know Tanaka has built a community where mutants can live together. Basically, he's like an add-on to Xavier's dream, where he has a small town that's pretty much fully populated by mutants. They haven't heard from him in a while, so Cyclops is going to go check in and see how things are going out in this isolated town out in the middle of nowhere. So on his way there, he passes by a secret station that's set up to monitor people coming into the area, run by a bulldog-faced guy who looks a lot like Lockheed from, not Lockheed, Lockjaw from the Inhumans, but if he had anthropomorphic.
Kind of.
He looks exactly like him, man. It was just, if they took Lockjaw from the Inhumans and made him anthropomorphic, so he was like a human dog. Well, that's his face in the corner, but he has like, he can stand upright. He's bipedal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he looks very much like that. So anyway, he's in there. He senses the ship going by. He uses this helmet he's wearing and to augment his abilities, and he can tell that Cyclops. He's reporting back to some kind of a ruler of of the town, a nefarious sort who we'll learn more about as we go. He can tell that Cyclops is thinking about Prescott, and he's ordered to take the ship down. So he uses a gun mounted to the top of his little outpost here. No, actually, he doesn't use a gun. He uses his powers in his mind to make the ship crash. And also take away Cyclops' mutant abilities. This guy is incredibly powerful. I feel like his talents are wasted just being a watchdog, in quotes, and no pun intended, because he is dog-like in appearance. But
and that is his name, Watchdog.
Oh, is it really his name? Well, that's hilarious.
Yes.
Well, then... I hit the nail on the head there, didn't I?
Apology rescinded.
So it's funny because Cyclops, I remember during the crash, I remember thinking this was a mistake because you see his glasses slide up and you see his eyes. And I was like, oh, that's definitely some kind of an animation mistake. Until we see him land and then get it and realize his glasses aren't needed because his mutant abilities are gone. So it wasn't a mistake. It was actually just a slight foreshadowing. So they believe that they may have killed him. The sinister leader giving the orders is shown to be this eyeshadow wearing man with red hair and a weird tiara. We'll learn more about it as we go on. That's what he looks like there. Yes. Cyclops wakes up.
Lots of eyeshadow, in fact.
A lot of eyeshadow. Yeah. It's I don't know where he sources that out in the desert, but he has have an eyeshadow guy.
Grinds it out of pure obsidian. He mines from the mountains.
Pure obsidian.
Mm-hmm.
So Cyclops finds the ship destroyed. His glasses don't matter. Basically, his phone's broken. He can't call home. So he begins to walk through the desert. As he's walking, he comes across a Jeep driving by that stops to pick him up. Almost hits him first.
I rarely pick up strangers. I'm Daryl Tanaka.
We meet Daryl Tanaka, who we learn to be the doctor of this community, who is driving, who offers to drive Cyclops into town. Get him the help he needs. They say they don't see a lot of strangers around here. And Cyclops introduces himself. Tanaka asks what he has business here, blah, 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 just making small talk. So they pull up into the town. Whenever people see Cyclops, they start slamming their windows, closing their doors, walking in the opposite direction, being scared basically to even talk to him. Tanaka seems the only one that's like okay with talking with Cyclops to begin with.
Most folks in Skull Mesa don't like strangers.
I'm used to that.
Fair point.
We do see a flashback of, which, I don't know, the timeline of this is weird. We see a flashback of Cyclops when he was younger, playing baseball here in Skull Mesa when he's in this town with other mutants.
Really?
No, it's not other mutants, sorry. He's
he's not in Skull Mesa.
Oh, he's just in the...
Prescott went and established this community later.
Right.
Like,
Okay. So
Cyclops
Cyclops
has
is
never
playing
been here
baseball
before.
with kids. His powers activate. He shoots the ball and destroys it with his eye beams. He runs from the bullies that sees him.
Get out of here!
And then he bumps into Prescott, who talks the bullies down and says that they're just afraid and all the usual stuff we get from this. And it's basically forcing us to buy into a relationship that Cyclops have with this Prescott character that we've never heard of before until this very moment.
My glasses. My powers are gone.
My glasses. Old nerdy Cyclops. So we're getting some little tidbits of Cyclops' relationship with this Tanaka guy, with Prescott. Tanaka brings Cyclops to his doctor's office, which might be his house as well. It's unclear, and does an examination on him to see if he's okay. Tanaka says he's the only doctor. He's also the mortician and a bunch of other things in the town. Dentist, maybe, because there's not that many people around. So,
and eyeshadow maker.
That's true. He does make the eyeshadow. Yeah. So Cyclops presses Tanaka for the location of Prescott because that's who he's here to see. Tanaka says he doesn't know that he moved away or he's been gone for a while and doesn't know where he is. Cyclops doesn't buy that and goes off looking for him. As we see him wandering through this desert town, we just see a bunch of people that refuse to talk to him, that run in the opposite way or look away. Basically, he sees a woman gardening. He tries to talk to her and she runs and hides in her house. So this town is very, very mistrusting of strangers. And for some reason, which we'll get to know as
most folks in Skull Mesa don't like strangers.
I'm used to that.
It's interesting seeing Cyclops walk around without the glasses on. You see his powers get neutralized once in a while, but he still usually has glasses and the visor on. It's just kind of strange to see him. It's very off-putting to see him. Yeah, just to see his eyes the normal way. Like, it's very strange. But anyway, he's approached by this man in this ridiculous garb named Solar, who, as we see there, is also surrounded by Toad, making his first appearance in the X-Men animated show. And the other guy, whose name escapes me at the moment, Chet Lambert. Chet. Who has do you have some sound clips of his voice? Because his voice is ridiculous.
I think I might.
You calling us liars, Mr. Sommer?
No, a helpful man like you. Now, how about being real helpful and tell me how to get to the Chandler place?
Damn, that's not it.
He's
it
always
might come
like,
up. I think
at some point, Solar says he's like, yes.
Oh yeah, I do have that song.
No, he's got this like very creepy inflection in his voice that comes up fairly often. Yes,
I might find it here somewhere.
It's all right.
But your plane had trouble. Landing trouble, wasn't it, Chet?
Yeah.
It's
like the creepiest, like nothing to suspect going on here. It just seems like a normal town with normal folks.
Yeah, he's like Johnny Tightlips. Just going saying nothing, just says yeah.
Where'd they hit you? I ain't saying nothing. What do I tell the doctor? Tell him to suck a lemon.
Oh, suck a lemon.
So Solar basically has the role of the corrupt sheriff who tells the hero that wanders into the Western to get out of his town in a nice way, saying, perhaps you should move on, that sort of stuff. Cyclops says he's looking for Prescott. Solar tells him Prescott's no longer there. But there's a guy that can help him get a Jeep, basically Tusk. Is that our Husk? Tusk?
Yeah, Tusk, yeah. Tusk. I used to have his action figure.
Right. Such a strange design. Especially, we'll get to this later.
Cool in this episode. He's the best part of this episode.
He is, but it's odd that his powers are used with no explanation whatsoever. I have a lot of questions about the little man that lives in his back, but we can talk about that.
It was the best part of the action figure, too. He came out of the back.
Yeah, he's
he
like
a dark rider.
Braddock, who is also Solar's real name. Is Solar like an existing character in the X-Men? All right, is he this lame?
Not so much an X-Men. but he's in Marvel character. He's in like Captain America and stuff.
They don't say his real name in this thing I'm looking at. Bill Braddock. That's it.
We'll talk about that in the X
It's
points.
Bill Braddock. But yes, he uses the sun to make solar energy blasts. So he's like, anyways, he's trying to influence Cyclops to get out of town as quickly as possible. Tells him to go talk to Tusk, who will give him a jeep basically and get him out of here. He says he's looking for Prescott, but Solar's telling him that he should probably, move on anyway. And Prescott's gone. Cyclops isn't buying it. He thinks something's to work here, and he's right. So he's basically saying he's going to go look for Prescott. Goes back into Tanaka and kind of gets in his face. Cyclops is rather bullyish in this episode. I get that he wants answers and everyone in the town isn't giving them to him. But he's kind of a dick to Tanaka, who actually seems like a nice guy. Anyway, when he's trying to get answers from Tanaka, Chet and Toad and Solar intervene. And Toad uses some kind of an epoxy that comes out of his hands to...
Toad here is quite versatile. This particular resin acts like curare.
Curare. How many kids do you think know what curare is?
We'll with that later, too.
Oh, is that one of your points?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's
Nothing like a gold mine to make a man want to put down roots and become part of the community.
so basically, instead of just like, killing Cyclops like every good villain should do, he monologues and takes Cyclops down to the mines to show him where he has Braddock basically in some kind of hypersleep, essentially, because of some of the resin that Toad did that puts him in stasis. And shows Cyclops that Prescott has found a gold mine underneath the city, which is why he's set up here. And the mutants that live here just mine enough to keep their lives going. They don't work extra hard, but they mine enough gold to pay for a simple life.
Until Solar took over.
Until Solar decided that he wanted for himself.
Wanted fancy diamond statues and other fancy type things.
Well, how do you pick those fancy costumes? Don't just pay for themselves, Davan. You need that sweet underground gold.
Yeah, true.
So basically, they're going to do the same to Cyclops. This episode is so bad. So they lead Cyclops around, show them their master plan, what they're here for, and what they're doing. Then when Cyclops is like, "We'll find a way to stop you," Solar's like, "Sure, go ahead and try," and like lets him go and says, "Run out of the town. See who'll help you. Nobody will," believing his stranglehold in the town is so firm that nobody would dare to help Cyclops because Solar would not want them to. So just dumb.
Like, all been charmed by his shadowy eyes.
Instead of killing him or getting him out of the way, he just is like, "All right, go ahead, go ask for help. Nobody's gonna help you."
But it's very this story's been told before.
100 times. One of my X points is that too.
Yeah.
But anyway, he runs back to Tanaka for help because he only bullied and threatened him a bunch earlier, so now he's hoping Tanaka will maybe help him, which he does basically. And Tanaka explains that the town was going fine until Solar showed up and bullied everyone into following his way of being. Cyclops goes to talk to Tusk to help him with.
There aren't many secrets in this town.
Nope.
I came to ask for your help.
They said you might. Look, I'd like to help you. I mean, Doc Prescott is a nice old man. He got me out of a real jam once. But I'm just one man.
Tusk sounds like the Allstate guy.
Yeah. Tusk is the most character development in this episode, too.
Yeah, but he barely says anything. That's like the most of his character development.
Well,
we see that he's good with electronics. He's working on an engine and poking with the screwdriver, so he must know a thing or two about engines. This is the Chet character an existing X-Men character?
I'll talk about that later.
Okay, Jesus, how many X points you got?
Well, you're stealing them all tonight.
Well, I didn't. What did I steal? I didn't steal anything yet. I'm just asking.
No.
Yes, Mr. Braddock. Yes.
No, he's not. He's not an existing.
Basically, Cyclops, while he's talking and trying to get Tusk to help him, Chet shows up and says, how's the wife and kids, basically threatening Tusk to not help Cyclops. So Cyclops tries to talk to the plant lady. She won't talk to him either, the one he saw earlier. Toad and Chet are following him around, making sure nobody's talking to him, basically. And then they get in a bit of an altercation where Chet, does Chet have powers? I'm trying to remember what exactly he does here. Oh yeah, he phases through things. That's what he does.
Oh,
So Cyclops tries to run at him. He phases
help
through.
to take care of trash like you.
Yeah.
Okay, tough guy. Let's see what you got.
Yes. Let's see what you got. Yes. So Cyclops, sits on one of those what do you call those things that like those big rock formations in like the desert that are really thin at the top but wide, or thin along the way up but wide at the top, where people go sit on and do peyote.
Oh yeah. I know
Whatever
the
those
word,
are.
yeah. Can't think off the top of my head. But
Come on, what do you call those? I want to know.
Yeah.
It's like a stalagmite from a cave, but upside down and in the desert. I want to Google it, but I also don't want to have a bunch of dead air. So tell me about your thoughts on these rock formations.
Good morning, Mr. Summers.
Braddock, don't do this. My friends will hunt you down to the ends of the earth.
Yeah. Yes.
They're called hoodoos.
Yeah, hoodoos. That's the one.
So
Hoodoo? You do?
I do the voodoo that you do. Oh.
Is it?
So Cyclops sits in one of those, pulls out his little statue, looks at it, remembers this deep relationship he had with Prescott that's never been mentioned until this episode, and then storms into town and they really frame it like an old Wild West where he's walking up the town center, and all the people are inside looking and then closing their shutters and hiding. We even see that mole character that we saw before, who seems to move around a lot wherever there's stuff going on with there he is in the back again. Wherever there's stuff going on with the X-Men, he's usually in some weird town or village or something. He's usually hanging around. So basically, he walks up town center.
Trying to find a home?
Yeah, essentially. So Cyclops basically comes up to Solar head on to challenge him. Solar sends his goons after him. Cyclops decks Toad, but can't deck Chet because Chet phasing. They capture Cyclops and strap him to the new Braddock statue that Braddock made of gold that Braddock had erected in the town center to honor himself. And they bring the whole town out to make an example of him. Basically, Cyclops appeals to the people, saying, Prescott helped you people just like he helped me when I was a kid. How could you let this guy take over and do this to him?
Rich men can buy armies.
That is true.
Do you see this? It's a transmitter. He tried to use it last night to summon his Confederates.
So Prescott tried to tell the town that Cyclops was evil and used was it the statue itself, the little statue to say that it was a transmitter that he was going to use? Mm-hmm. Or is it some piece of technology he had on him? No, it was a little statue. The statue he had of Prescott with the kids that they sent to to show that they were doing well in their community. So basically, they're trying to turn them against him. The town knows better, and basically, Tusk has a change of heart, attacks Solar, saves Cyclops from the statue. Solar attacks them, using his solar powers, basically, and then the rest of the town comes out to assist ignorant Solar because they are all.
What are you doing? What I should have done before. Neutralize Watchdog's effect on you.
It's funny that lined up perfectly with what
Still up his powers.
Yes, it's funny. He literally can heal by touching people, which makes him a very good doctor.
Very good.
But
and very good dentist and eyeshadow maker.
Toad gets his own goo on his head. Cyclops manages to concussive blast Chet out of the way. Solar also gets blasted down and then captured by the town. They free Prescott. Tanaka uses his powers to bring him out of stasis, and everything's A-okay in the little town again. And Cyclops offers to take Braddock away, but Prescott says that they have their own, he's their problem. He did his crimes in their town, and they'll take care of him, which makes you think they're just going to hang him at sundown. What are they going to do? Make him work in the gold mines or put him in a prison, like a one-room jail cell? He's not going to have a normal prison stay there. It's a very small town. So whatever happens.
They committed their crimes here in Skull Mesa. We should take care of them. That okay by you, Mr. X-Man?
We'll burn them at dawn.
So, what shall we do until your friends arrive?
Well, let's catch up on old times.
Good idea. Do you still like ice cream?
I love the
Terrible
idea when they're
ending to
like,
a terrible episode.
oh man,
Oh,
it's
God.
like, remember when I used to molest you as a child? Do you still like ice cream? Come.
Can you do him with that paper?
Well, you can hear that?
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
Sorry. This
No
mic
worries.
is very sensitive. So
That's a good mic.
yeah, that's basically the episode. I love the idea. They're like, no,
It was.
it happened in our town. We'll take care of it. And then it's like,
Yeah.
tomorrow we'll burn them at dawn in a wicker man. Like it's just so like so
Cut
folksy
before he
and
said that.
strange in their weird little town.
They would have made the episode quite a bit better.
If they burned him in a wicker man, that would have been very interesting.
Or even just mentioned it.
Each of us will have to look into his own heart and decide.
Go for it, Andre.
Oh, this
Do
this
your
episode
heart.
really sucks. Like really sucks. There's nothing very entertaining,
a slog to
exciting.
get
There's a
through.
bunch of it was a slog to get through. There's a
Nothing
bunch of
made
new
sense.
characters, which is always kind of fun, but none of them do anything really interesting, except for Tusk. Oh yeah, I
That's a
forgot to
toad.
mention during that fight, we see Tusk has a little dude that lives in his back that jumps out and helps him in the battle.
Yeah.
What is that guy's life like? Like, you just live in? Is he happy to just live in a back cavity of?
That I don't remember. I have to go.
Very
He was
strange.
mostly in the 90s when I stopped reading X-Men comics.
It's very strange. Very strange indeed.
Mm. Mm.
Anyway, that's the episode.
You didn't rate it.
Oh,
didn't look into your own heart and
three.
decide.
Three. It's bad, man. It's bad.
Yeah.
I thought about a
I'll
4,
see,
but then I had to go to 3.
3 works. All right, couple of 3s,
It's quite bad.
but not good.
No.
I think my lowest might have been a 6 before now. Wow. That's all I gotta say. Wow.
Yeah.
For that the uncanniest of X points. I'll go first.
Go for it.
Watchdog, Tanaka, Prescott, and Chet Lambert are all original to the episode.
That is true. That was gonna be one of my
All
points.
completely forgettable characters. So never to be heard from again.
Well, since you stole one of my points, I'm gonna steal one of yours.
All right.
Solar is based on the Marvel comic character of the same name. Both have similar appearances and power sets. However, this one is named Bill Braddock, and the original's name was Silas King. I'm not sure why they changed the name, why it had to be Bill Braddock, but there's a change in that for some reason.
All right. Well, I'm gonna branch off yours.
Go ahead.
Bill Braddock, in fact, though, does exist in Marvel Comics. And that is the real name of Spider UK, affectionately known as Spider Uck.
Spider Uck?
UK.
Is it the Spider-Verse one that has like the mohawk and all that? The Spider-Punk?
No, he's the Spider-Verse one who's like super all Captain Brittany.
Oh, that one. You mean Spider-Man
Spider
UK
UK.
is what he's called. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
It's the Uck.
Spider Uck.
I thought you were talking. I was going to say, because I'm pretty sure the Spider-Punk is Hobie Brown in that universe.
Yeah, that is Hobie. Yeah. Back to you.
Interesting. Well, this whole episode actually is a direct lift from a classic film called Bad Day at Black Rock, which is almost the exact similar plot to this entire episode. So obviously somebody in the writing office must have been a fan and went and looked it up. It's a classic movie. I'm actually want to go watch it. It's Spencer Tracy, Ernest Borgnine, Lee Marvin, a lot of big names for the time period. So it's from 1955, and it's a neo-western.
Neo-westerns that gave rise to post-westerns, like your favorite No Country for Old Men.
Mm-hmm. But the director, John Sturges, did a ton of famous films at the time. Gunfight of the OK Morale, The Magnificent Seven, The Great Escape. Yeah, so Ice Station Zebra, a lot of big stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna check this one out. I like the stranger comes to town and the town's all weird and different is a trope that's been used in fiction for a very, very long time.
It
so,
sure has.
Yeah,
And
so it's,
often much better than this.
I feel like the idea of this episode is great. I feel like this could have been a really interesting episode if done differently. But
I think this episode would have been better. And you and I are Cyclops fans, but I don't know if Cyclops is the right character for this. I mean, obviously Wolverine's the obvious choice because he's based on like John Wayne anyway. No, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, maybe so. We haven't had a solo Wolverine episode in a long time, so maybe you're right. I would have liked to see, like, honestly, just off the top of my head, the idea of a whole town that's all being controlled by like Mastermind or something instead, like who like literally is just controls this entire town using his powers to make them all worship him or do everything for him or something.
Purple Man could come back.
Yeah. Well, who?
Purple Man.
Oh yeah. Purple Man. Right. Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, even that would be interesting. So, all that stuff would be cool. I just feel like, could have been done better.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, my next one. Toad's powers, man, are the most inconsistently written powers in the history of comic books, I think.
Yeah.
In the comics, too, and here, in the movies, you never know what Toad's going to be able to do every time you run into him, and it's kind of ridiculous. That's mine. In this one, he can make balls of goo and throw them at you.
Yeah, and also like one of them is like like that one. What do you call that stuff? Kamabe? Curare, which is a muscle relaxant. It's like a polymer that comes off a plant that makes your muscles relax. So like Cyclops is like walking around and seems normal. I thought, he just makes strange epoxies for whatever he needs. Like it's very weird. Resins, I guess, but resins come from trees. It's just like a nice way to not say he makes goo from his hands that like that's gonna fuck you up. Anyway,
yeah. Well, I might as well do my next. Might as well add that to my X point. Yeah, so curare is used for like poison arrows and things like that.
Yeah,
in the rainforest. And I once read a book a long time ago called Medicine Hunting in the Rainforest, and it was about the early people that went in, like the early Westerners that went in to try to find curare to use it for whatever, drugs, medicinal, whatever other reasons, poison. Like they just wanted it, and like the crazy treks they would take into the rainforest. Most of them die, all that kind of stuff. So curare, man, people died for that shit.
People died because of that shit. Point number 4 in the comics, Senyaka is a member of the Magneto's acolytes, and he's seen in the crowd as part of the group in this town, and he's actually wearing the acolytes uniform, even though we didn't see him with Fabian Cortez or having anything to do with that in the Sanctuary episodes. So it's kind of funny they stuck him in.
All right. So is this my last one?
Do you start or did I?
No,
I still have one more. So 3. This is your 4th one.
Yeah. I started. But anyway, I get 2 more anyway. So Skull Mesa is drawn exactly like it is. If you Google Skull Mesa, the geography shot that comes up, or like the landscape shot, I should say, is the exact one that is in the show when he first shows up, and there's kind of that hill in the distance and stuff. It's exact.
Oh, cool. They actually like drove from that. That's neat.
Yeah.
My last point is, and there's some interesting cameos from other characters in the backgrounds. I mean, obviously we had Tusk, Toad, Solar, the additional ones that created Tanaka, Watchdog, Chet.
Morlock lady who's everywhere.
Yes, that's I just had her here. Strobe, isn't it?
Strode? No, Strode's one of the
Strobe. B.
Yeah, Strobe. No,
okay,
that's not Strobe.
So we have Copycat, right? That's her. That's Copycat, the one with the bright colored hair.
That's Copycat.
Yeah. So we have Forearm, Strobe, Random, Senyaka, Reaper, and Copycat are some of the more notable ones. Forearm is basically Goro. And he's got the delightfully 90s costume with the gold around his head. He's right behind Tusk there on the left. So, we got Peepers back there too. I didn't notice Peepers made a return.
He is there.
He's right over the right shoulder of Tusk. Hey, Peepers.
This Morlock and the Toque is everywhere too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And Random's there.
Yep. Random just popped up this season, and now is randomly, in quotes, popping up everywhere.
He's everywhere. Yeah, he was like 2 episodes ago. He was like on Asteroid M.
I just thought the design for Farm is interesting. He basically looks like Goro from the X-Men because he's got the 4 arms.
From Mortal Kombat, you mean? But yeah.
Oh wait, X-Men, yes, Mortal Kombat.
But yeah, Reaper, Strode, and Forearm are all from the Stripes
Liberation
Liberation Front. Yeah,
That's right.
Well, that's it. That's all for me too. That's X points. All right, moving on.
Hey, check this out.
All right, hey, check this out. Well, since we're talking, you know what? I should have just a 2-gun Kid Colt.
Oh wow,
You know,
haven't thought of those in a while.
Not. Yeah, well,
Are they mutants?
Episode. No, I'm going with a different take on this. A different Cyclops solo adventure. I'm going with Cyclops Icons, one 4-issue series by
I remember
Brian
that.
K. Vaughan.
Well, that was a spin-off of the delightful and amazing Morrison run that you love so dearly.
Yeah, he's still wearing the leather, that's for sure.
He damn well is. Yeah. He looks some sexy in it, I must say.
He looks some great in that.
Great in that yellow and black leather. He looks like a motorcycle costume. I love it.
It's a pretty good story. I mean, Brian K. Vaughan wrote probably my favorite story, Why the Last Man. But he's got a lot of misses for me as well. But this one's somewhere in the middle. This one's okay. But it's after his big adventure because he leaves the X-Men because he's all distraught, and he comes back, and Xavier greets him, and Xavier's just like, "Did you find what you're looking for?" And he's like, "I'm not sure. Deep down, a part of me always worried that I'd be nothing without my team or my powers," just like this episode. "But out there, I saw what I'm capable of without either. It's hard to explain, but I don't think I'll ever look at myself the same way again."
Aw.
And then Xavier's like, "Then you did gain something from your experience." Or I should say that more like sultry, like Xavier. "Then you did.
You did gain something. He reminds me of this
experience.
I don't know if this is the Canadian reference or North American reference, but he reminds me of the Gip Forrester ads that play in the radio at Christmas. It feels like Christmas. Remember those? I'm Gip Forrester.
Really?
You don't remember those? It was like this kindly voice where the guy would explain some story about Christmas. It'd be like, every Christmas time, Billy would talk to his elderly neighbor, Grant, Steven, and they'd talk, and then at the end it'd be like, I'm Gip Forrester. I can't believe you don't remember those. Oh man.
No, I don't.
They're like, and I always see this little song that would intro. It goes, "It feels like Christmas." Anyway,
but to that, Cyclops says, "Yes, I did gain something, a new pair of eyes."
Oh, I like Brian K. Vaughan a lot, so.
Oh yeah. Why the Last Man is the best. I know I
Ex Machina,
that earlier.
Pride of Baghdad.
Good. Yeah. I have that here. I have Pride of Baghdad.
Saga, which is my beloved by everybody.
I got a lot of that here. It went too long, so I fell off of it. But I have a lot of it here. Yeah, Brian K. Vaughan. Cyclops Icons. Check it out. Even though he's wearing leather.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna break from tradition, and I'm going. I'm gonna suggest.
I will not have it.
I'm going to suggest an X-Men book, one recommended by you that you told me to read on Comixology.
Oh, sweet!
The House of X Power. I'm mostly done it. Actually, I'm on issue 8. I think I should check to see how many episodes I got. This is the panel I'm on right now.
Oh yeah!
So I believe it's the Phalanx or some connection to it.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of questions because there's probably a lot of stuff that's been set up in this series by previous X-Men books that I am unaware of. Why does Xavier look?
Are you reading Powers of 10 at the same time?
I got the volume that they both came in the same volume. I didn't buy it.
What you're supposed to do, at least it works better, I think, that way, is you read House of X1, Powers of 10-1, House of X2.
I think that's how it's laid out. Because it jumps.
They are different stories.
It jumps between one in the future quite a bit.
Yeah, the one in the future is Powers of 10.
Oh, so it's both. Okay. I was curious about that, if it was a swap or if it was their overlaying. Why
Well,
does
it's
Xavier
both.
look like Maker from the evil Reed Richards from the Ultimatum universe? I thought he was him at first, and then realized it wasn't.
Because one of the things he has to do with this whole Krakoan revival MacGuffin is constantly back up the brain patterns of all the mutants on Earth.
Yes, we've established that in the series.
So he's
So,
that's a Cerebro on his
so it's
head, and
just
he's constantly
coincidence that
doing
his
that.
costume looks exactly like that costume he
Yes,
gave you.
it's coincidence like the Maker, yeah.
And why does he walk?
His first thing he did, I believe, is resurrect himself.
But he's able to walk in that process. Okay. Gold balls and eggs is interesting. That whole thing with them is interesting. I feel. Do you ever watch the movie The Prestige?
Yep.
It's probably my favorite book, or it's probably my favorite movie by Nolan. Actually, Christopher Nolan. I like all of his movies, but that one might be my favorite. And the idea, like, to me, I really feels like the sort of this is gonna be a spoiler. If you haven't watched The Prestige, you should, and don't listen to the next few minutes of this. But the concept that's given, where you discover that the duplication trick that he uses, the water trick that he uses to make a copy, basically he makes an actual double of himself that drowns every night, and he's never sure if it's the original version of himself or the copy or a copy that's drowning, because they go through a process. And he's stuck
like Mr. Sinister that way.
And he's stuck with the impossible realization that is he just a copy of a copy of a copy? Is the original Longston's dead? He'll never know. And there's some extra stuff where, his partner tells him that drowning is, he lied to him earlier about how drowning was the soft way to go, but he told him it's like one of the most terrifying because his wife died that way. It's the whole thing. But anyway, I feel like with this new resurrection thing, it's just a copy of your personality. So you're dead. They just make a clone and then give you all the X-Men are dead.
Now that depends on what your opinion is on Star Trek transporters.
Yeah, probably the same thing.
Are you dead?
Probably. If is it copying? Is it copying your? Is it?
It's destroying you by molecule, copying you as data, transporting that data. Like you could do that with, like, it's just you're just bits, your numbers.
Isn't it like a light? Like don't you have to send a beam somewhere for you to go to the other place?
No.
Well, then why did
it's called beaming?
Why in Star Trek 1, the Abrams one, did Scotty have to like send it to a ship really far away, and that was impressive? Because he had to get it on the ship in warp.
No,
somewhere.
That wasn't because it was far away. It's because they were traveling at warp, and they had.
But still, wouldn't it not matter then if it doesn't matter if it's just making a copy of you and downloading you somewhere and making a new version of you somewhere else? It's implied through the science of Star Trek. You still have to
place that transported person somewhere, and placing that person on something traveling at warp is not easy.
I see.
But those J.J. Abrams movies suck, so who cares anyway?
I like the first one and the third one.
The first one was okay.
Third one was all right too, actually. But I just always hate when they have to shoehorn. Like, I always love in movies that takes place thousands of years in the future that somebody always, for some reason, has a penchant for 90s music. And at some point in the movie, they have to be listening to like a Beastie Boys song because it's cool for the movie. But it's like, has nothing good come out between the time period that is now and the 1,000 years in the future when people are listening to music? Has nobody made any music in those 1,000 years that someone might love and listen to at appropriate time that's not something from our immediate timeline? I always find that funny.
The same feelings for Kirk stunting around on a motorbike as I do Picard cruising around on a dune buggy, and they aren't positive.
So but anyway, that idea is kind of strange to me, and there's some other stuff going on that I have some questions about, but I do get the gist of it, and I do enjoy it. It's quite interesting. And
they keep building that. The books, the first volumes of the books that spin out of it, you got to get those too.
Well, so tell me what they are, and I'll read them next, as I'm digging this
one. Dawn of X, and
Dawn of X is after this one.
Yeah, well, Dawn of X, I think, is what they call that's what the trades are called. So the Dawn of X trades collect all of those, the ones I'm talking about.
Okay,
so that's the easiest way to do it.
I like Cyclops' role in this world. He's basically like the soldier that has to do what he needs to do to make sure this stuff works. So
like these Dawn of X trades.
Oh, those are pretty.
And then, yeah, they are. And then you open them up, and you got like what is this? Yeah, so the first one you want to read is the new X-Men title that comes out of it, and that's a cool roster.
I'll check to see if it's in here, because if it is, I'll read it next.
Yeah. That's like the Summers book. It's like a lot about the Summers family and that sort of stuff. And then there's like Marauders. See, there's Marauders. Kitty is the Pirate Kitty and the Marauders. That's a friggin' stand-up book. That's amazing. Yeah, Storm's on that team. That it's all about the Marauders. Like, look at this. Look at this shot here. Pirate Kitty and Lock
That's pretty
Kitty.
cool.
She's got a black eye. Oh man, that's crazy. Kitty's hardcore.
Kitty's hardcore. All right, cool. Well, I'll look up and see if it's in the look up and see if it's in the Kindle Kindle Unlimited app where I'm reading this stuff. But basically, it seems like a lot of this X-Men stuff is, so it probably is. But I'll definitely check that out later. Yeah, I'm digging it. It's fun.
Yeah, man. It's cool. It keeps getting it's a little bit of a lull, but I think it's really strong again. And not much of a lull. Like some of the books are better than others. Like it always happens with X-Men books when there's like 10 titles.
What's the book that Dave was talking about? How it was a lot of fun and Scalp Hunter. What's his name now? Greyhawk.
Grey Crow. That's
Grey Crow.
Hellions. Hellions is a good book, definitely. Like Wild Child's on that team, and Quanin, and yeah, that's a really good book. That's probably my favorite one, other than Marauders. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I might have to buy this one. It's not in the free unlimited option. So, damn you, Davan, you got me hooked.
Yeah, that's what I'm here to do. Hook everybody on X-Men.
That's right.
You got to be hooked on something.
Well, I chose heroin, but
on
X-Men's a close second.
Oh, did you? Okay,
yeah.
It's expensive.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time, Davan.
My remote with Andre. I'm going to interrupt your segment for a second because look what my remote found. I was cleaning up old boxes and stuff.
Oh,
I found my original VHS copies.
I had both
X-Men
of those.
and Spider-Man.
I had both of those.
Yeah, classic.
I don't know if I still do anymore. I think I got rid of them. But
isn't it romantic?
No, man, you ever try to kiss someone upside down? It's not easy.
Stupid. Everything in that movie's kind of stupid when you go back and watch it.
I will fight you, sir. It was a masterpiece. No. 2 definitely was. 1 was great, but 2 was great. 2 was even.
Was it Jaemeel that'll argue that 2 is the worst of them all? Yeah, ask Jaemeel why 2 is actually the worst of them.
Argue with Jaemeel about something he's obviously wrong about. What does he think? He thinks 2 is worse than 3?
Yes.
Wow.
You don't agree with that.
I feel like Jaemeel likes to poke the bear like you do sometimes. He just likes to take the opposite side of the popular argument to cause controversy.
Oh, is that what you think I do?
Sometimes. I told you before, you play the wrestling heel sometimes, and I know when you're doing it.
Oh, yeah, I do. If I was ever going to be a wrestler, I'd be a heel. I mean, that's the fun part.
Oh, 100%. You're one in real life, so. I'm kidding. You're a delightful individual.
Heel in a goofy hat.
All right, so, well, listen, there's been a lot of movies made about strangers coming to town, run by mysterious, possibly nefarious, evil people that are have some strange thing going on that they don't understand. I could have picked a lot of them. There's a lot. I mean, I mentioned one earlier, Bad Day, Black Rock. However, since I tend to bend towards the horror, I decided to go with the Stephen King adaptation from, what year did this come out? From...
Is the Gunslinger?
Oh, God, no. I would not do that. The short story was published in 1977. I'm guessing this adaptation came out in the 80s. It is Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn.
Come play with... No, that's not. That's The Shining. What are the Children of the Corn kids?
In which Peter Horton and Linda Hamilton wander into a town in which disturbing kids all worship he who walks behind the rose, a strange entity that seemingly has compelled them to kill all of the adults and run the town as children. Similar idea, similar motif, goes in. Not one of the best Stephen King adaptations, certainly a product of its time, but kind of fun if you like that. And just as a side recommendation of a new movie I've seen recently that I really like, if you haven't watched The Banshees of Inisherin on Disney Plus, it's up for Best Picture this year. I loved
I
it.
heard about it.
I loved it
All right.
dearly. It's fantastic.
I'll check it out.
Great meditation on. There are a lot of movies about relationships ending. There's not a lot of movies about friendships ending, and this is kind of the whole movie's based around two people that were friends when one decides that their friendship's over because he doesn't want to be friends with the other one anymore, and what that means to the other. It kind of wraps up into like adult male anger, male ego, male relationships, and how complex that is. It takes place during the Irish Civil War in like the 30s in Ireland. It's by Mike. That was later, I think.
Oh yeah,
Michael Martin McDonough, who did 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and 7 Psychopaths, and In Brugge did this movie. And it's
I liked 7 Psychopaths. I saw that one. I think I might have saw In Brugge too.
Did you see 3 Billboards?
Right?
It's very good.
No, I've never seen.
Oh, dude, his movies are all masterpieces. Definitely check this one out.
I don't know if I'd call 7 Psychopaths a masterpiece, but it was.
I certainly would. It's a great movie.
Yeah. All right. Also, check out Spider-Man and X-Men on VHS.
Only on VHS. Don't watch it on DVD.
Don't go watch Fox X-Men movies ever again. We're about to have better. If you're gonna watch Fox X-Men, it's been the animated series. You're watching it right now. You're watching us talk about it. All right. So. Where's my theme song? Must be down further. There it is.
What were you doing? Playing with matches?
All right, so I'm gonna. It's X-Team-Bit Gaming with Superintendent Skelhorn. I'm gonna talk about a classic, and that is Tetris.
2.
Tetris changed the world.
That's Tetris 2 you got there.
That's Tetris 2 because what's better than Tetris? 2-player Tetris, and Tetris 1 didn't have 2-player. Tetris 1 is the superior single-player Tetris, but Tetris 2, 2-player Tetris. So if you're playing NES Tetris, there's nothing wrong with Tetris 2. But the best way to play Tetris is on this beast right here. The original Game Boy. The screen sucked. You couldn't see anything. This one's in pieces now. Like, this was my original Game Boy, but it didn't hold up too well over the years. I think I could fix it. I have the screen somewhere, but this back piece is missing. And I should have Tetris around here somewhere. I think I still have Tetris. It's the only game I have left. But, Game Boy changed my life. So really my recommendation is the original Game Boy. It's also Tetris. You can still play Tetris
just the
anywhere.
original Game Boy. Play all Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Red, Pokemon Yellow.
No, I didn't play those Pokemon games.
Oh my god, Pokemon with the Pokey and the man in the head.
Yeah, Pokey and the man. Yeah, Tetris. Tetris is a great game. You ever play Tetris, Andre?
Of course, I played Tetris.
Yeah, man. Did you make the rocket go off?
I was more of a Dr. Mario kind of guy. I'm kidding. No, Tetris is great. If you want to watch a fun online video, there's one called The God of Tetrises. Check it out. It's very funny. It's like the god that decides what blocks fall when you ever play Tetris. And it's quite funny.
Speaking of Tetris recommendations, check out what's his name? The Gaming Historian on YouTube. He has the history of Tetris. That was really interesting. There's a lot, man, there's a crazy history behind that game. And that guy's got a good channel too, actually. Shout out, buddy. Yeah, all right, let's play a game.
Oh, what? A game, you say?
Yeah, a game. Expert casting, but we're switching it up again. We're still going to do movies in the MCU, but instead of naming an actor and then choosing a character, we're going to name the character and then choose the actor.
Oh, Davan.
Yeah, like just keep things fresh.
Okay.
So I shall challenge you first.
Sure.
All right. I shall challenge you. Who should play Longshot?
Well, I already want Zac Efron to be the Human Torch. He would be a good choice of mine, if not. Who would play Longshot? Cocky, young guy. Kind of roguish.
On mullet.
Well, yeah, the mullets, whatever. You can add the mullets or whatever. I'm trying to think of an actor that would play that role well. Actually,
Action star type, because that's kind of what Longshot is.
so he's got to be like muscular and kind of.
Well,
jacked.
has to be believable as like a leading action star, man.
But he's kind of funny, right? Like he sort
Yeah.
of cracks wise a lot, right? And it's kind of jokey.
Oh, sure.
So kind of like a Ryan Reynolds type before he was Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I mean, he would have been a good choice had he not been Deadpool already in the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, Deadpool is the obvious choice for him.
Who's Ryan Reynolds light?
Well, there's a few of them out there. Actually, you know what? Not Boyd Holbrook. I always get him mixed up. Billy Magnuson is the guy's name.
I don't think I know him.
You'd know him to see him. He was in oh man, he's in something just recently. Shit. Anyway, he was in the remake of Aladdin, actually, the live action one, very briefly.
Okay.
He was that white prince that the dad wanted the daughter to marry instead of Aladdin. But Bill Magnuson,
He's got the action star.
Look him up. He's kind of you'd recognize him to see him. He shows up in a lot of stuff, but he kind of plays sort of he
What's
plays
his
an
name?
idiot a lot. Billy Magnuson. He was in No Time to Die briefly, actually. That's what I saw him in recently. The James Bond movie.
Well, I have seen that guy before in something.
Yeah, he's good. He's in the new Spy Kids. They're making another Spy Kids movie? My God. He's in the new upcoming Spy Kids movie.
All right, so that's a long shot. All right. I believe it.
He's also in the upcoming remake of Roadhouse. I can't believe they're doing a remake of that as well.
Yeah, I think Conor McGregor's in that.
Oh my God, really? Yeah. He's in a very good movie called The Oath, if you haven't seen it. That's with Ike Barinholtz directed, the guy from Mad TV. But he shows up in a lot of stuff. One of his more famous roles is in the movie Game Night with Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams, where they're like people obsessed with games. They get roped into like a murder mystery that turns into a real murder. It's a fun movie. Billy Magnuson, that's my pick. I think he'd be good in that role.
All right. Shoot me a character.
It has to be from X-Men?
Yeah, we're casting the MCU X-Men. Not X-Men, X-Men adjacent at least.
Well, Tusk.
Okay. I like Tusk.
You're gonna say Michael Dorn, aren't you? I'm just waiting for you to say it. Did I tell your answer? Tell your answer, just give you the answer.
Jesus God, I think you gave me the answer.
I mean, he's a bit long in the tooth now, is he not?
Yeah, I mean, the other one I would choose is Tony Todd, but he's kind of old too.
It's just for the voice. Yeah, I guess he'd probably mostly be the voice. Tony Todd would be a good voice.
Is Michael Clark Duncan still alive?
No, he died years ago. Many years ago.
He would have been a good choice.
I would say the Allstate guy, but he played
the Allstate guy.
He has that. There's a deep voice for the Allstate insurance commercials. He played the Martian Manhunter on the Supergirl TV show.
Yeah, Michael Dorn, definitely Michael Dorn.
All right, of course it's got to be Michael Dorn. Who else would it be?
Set me up for that one.
I was waiting for. I knew you were going to pick it. I was like, oh wait, it's a deep voice black guy, probably with the way his voice was. Definitely go with Michael Dorn.
Yeah, Michael Dorn.
Who would play the little? Who do the voice for the little Michael Dorn that comes out of his bag?
Who would play little Michael Dorn?
Little
Brent
Tusk.
Spiner. 100%. Brent Spiner's the voice of Little.
You know what? Although it was a deeply flawed and terrible film, the Master of Disguise actually showed Brent Spiner. It looks like he had a lot of fun in that movie. And
Brent Spiner's amazing. Have you ever seen Fresh Hell? You would love Fresh Hell.
No.
It's just on YouTube. I don't know what he originally put.
I liked him in the original Independence Day. I did not like him in the new Independence Day. I did
It's
not
just
like
a
anything in the
collection of like
original.
short episodes. They're like 10 minutes long each, and he's just playing himself after an incident that basically got him canceled. And this was sort of like, I think this came out like kind of before cancel culture really took off or
Really
anything like that. But yeah, like or at least
interesting.
around in the early days of it. So
Hmm.
he's been like canceled, and, and it's him trying to get his career and his life back, and he's playing himself, and you would love it. Fresh Hell is hilarious.
Interesting. Well, he's got his turn back in the in Star Trek Picard, playing
Everybody
various
does. Season
versions
3,
of
they're all coming back,
various.
including my pick, Michael.
Is he coming back as Data in season 3?
No, Data died in
I was gonna
season
say they
1.
wrapped that
Spoiler
up
alert.
pretty solid in season 1.
Yeah.
He also
It's
did the
not-
voice of the
definitely not
Silver
Data.
Surfer on the Hulk and Agents of Smash cartoon, so that's fun.
Brent Spiner did?
No, he did. Yeah, the voice Silver Surfer
Brent
in the
Spiner's so Silver Surfer? Oh my
in
god,
the
two
Hulk
things
and
I
Agents
love
of
so
Smash
much.
cartoon that came out in 2014.
That's
He's
not
in.
a good cartoon. I mean, I know Clancy Brown does one of the voices in that.
He's Red Hulk, wasn't
Clancy
he?
Brown. Yeah, I think he was Red
Yeah.
Hulk. Not the best.
I had
show. I
2
mean, good for
seasons
kids.
of both the
Bit of a
26
kid show.
episodes, so there's 52 episodes of Hulk and the Agents of Smash out there.
Right, here's something we should do.
Hey, look who I found coming to join the party.
Glad y'all decided to join the party.
I don't know if we said this, we probably did, but I just saw it come up again recently, and there is a guaranteed second season already of X-Men 97. So we have that to look forward to.
That thing is
2
probably
more
gonna be like 10
seasons
episodes.
of this show as well. Yeah, it's probably gonna be like 10 episodes each, or 10 or 12. I think it is 10, isn't it? I think they announced that. But you know,
Did you say
there's still
Hulk and the
20 more
Agents of
episodes.
Smash was not a fun show, not a good show?
No, I said it's good for kids. It was just
I'm
like,
just skimming through it. It looks like there's a lot of like every episode seems like other cameos. Spider-Man's in one, Ghost Rider's in one.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that.
When Devil Dinosaurs in one. Like this looks
just
fun.
to say the storytelling's not quite where this show is.
Guardians of the Galaxy are in one.
I haven't seen a ton of it. I
Fire
just
Lord and
remember what I
Galactus
saw.
are in one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it gets everybody. I mean, Marvel owns the rights to their characters now, so
Yeah, it's pretty well. It looks like it would have been fun. Maybe we'll have to try an episode and see if I like
we'll
it.
review it. How about that?
Oh god,
Andre and Davan and the Agents of Smash.
Let's do 52 episodes. I mean, how many episodes of the show have we done already? What episode is this?
52.
God. Yeah, I guess we do it weekly.
Well,
We've done it for over a year, so we had a few
we've
snaps
done-
here and there, but
Oh, maybe we're about 52.
it was around November we started, wasn't it? In of the year before last.
Well, yeah. I mean, the first season had 12 episodes, and the next one had like 19, I think. Then the next one had like 20 some.
We're pretty close to it.
Yeah, so we're getting there. But yeah.
Very
Probably like
good.
it's Boschke 97. I can't wait. I'm getting the closer it gets, the more stoked I'm getting.
All
for
those
that new
pictures of
series.
Magneto
I'm
in
so
that
stoked.
purple outfit, like with the
Oh,
white,
it's so
it
good.
looks so
The
cool.
New Mutants outfit.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and with
Yeah,
him
man,
running
that's-
leading the X-Men, I think it's gonna be very interesting and fun. So
Yeah, Master Magneto uniform. Gotta love it.
this we have done 50. This is episode 57, according to
Wow.
my stream of
We're
our
gonna
show.
have to celebrate on one of these numbers.
All I need now is for you to
Yeah,
contact
I guess 50
your
would have been the one to
students,
do it.
Professor.
So
Well,
tonight, Professor.
Your homework is to watch the next episode of this show, and that episode is one that I'm actually very much looking forward to, and I know you are as
Me
well.
too.
It is Nightcrawler, in which we finally get this season's version, this show's version of Kurt Wagner, the Nightcrawler.
Wagner.
It's spelled with a W. It's just pronounced V because it's German.
Don't make me sing "Ode to Joy to You" in German. There's a lot of W words, and they all start with V sounds.
You're gonna. Oh wait, that's Ode to Joy. I'm thinking of Ride of the Valkyries. Yeah, that's not the problematic German composer.
Is the Ride of the Valkyries guy problematic?
Yeah, I think he was Nazi supporter and a bunch of other stuff back when that was going on.
That's not a
I
good
can't
thing
think
at
of
all.
his name right offhand right now. It'll kind of mean it.
All right.
Right?
Well,
I think it's also
can...
Wagner or Wagner. I think it's Wagner as well.
Oh, Wagner. Yeah, Wagner.
Have you out of here in no time.
Richard
We're going to
Wagner.
be out of here in no time, but first, you can support the show at patreon.com/XMen Review Show. Get some cool merch. We've got cool merch up there for you to enjoy. Shirts, hoodies, stickers, mugs, you know. Logo design, and also this one's for you, Morph Design. Gotta love it. Designed by Andre.
Yay.
You can contact us at xmenreviewshow@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. You can find our audio-only version wherever you get your podcasts, and you can please like, review, and subscribe. I mean, a lot of yous are. We get the new likes and subscribes every day, pretty much. Gotta love it. Love you guys.
Thank you. We love you guys.
A proud member. We are a proud member of the United Federation of Podcasts. There we are. Oh, let me get that out of the way. There we go. Look at that nice logo. Designed by Andre. His logo's off our.
I do love it.
What's up with the Graphic Histories podcast?
Well, part 2 of my talk with David Cullen comes out this Friday, so that'll be a fun talk. Kind of catches us up with. I've been doing some deep dives and posting on social media a bunch of his really funny what if one panels here and there.
Oh, yeah,
they're a hoot. They're the what if Wolverine hibernated was funny. The one I think it's tomorrow is like what if Tony Stark's business was a laundry. He's like he's Iron Man, but he's like the ironing man or whatever. So like he's like delivering all their clothes and they're all naked in the Avengers room, just sitting around. Waiting for their clothes, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, Thor, I couldn't get that coffee stain out of your cape." Like just mundanity stuff like that, which is really fun. I really like talking to David. He's very cool and has an interesting story about how he got involved with Marvel. Just basically like through sheer tenacity, he managed to get his foot in the door at Marvel Comics. And it's really interesting how that happened. So, great talk, great conversation. My next guest will be Michael Chan, who
oh really
you might know as someone who's part of the United Federation of Podcasts, as a horror podcast, as an actor that's been on Star Trek Discovery. So I thought, why not have him on the show?
So pretty great. I did not know that. That's very exciting. I'll definitely have to check that out.
That'll be 2 weeks from this Friday. We'll have him on as well.
Well, yeah, Michael Chan, Discovery Zone. I'm just loading up something quick here, so just talk amongst yourselves, everybody, or talk to Andre.
The progressive era was neither progressive nor an era. Discuss
what? Preposterous.
One interesting tomorrow night this came out about. Sorry, continue.
Go ahead.
Life. Yeah. Well, not my life at all, but there's a rather famous murder case that happened here in Halifax not too long ago. Are you familiar with this? Davan?
No.
The Sanderson case, William Sanderson, the kid.
Yeah.
So he just recently admitted that he disposed of the guy's body in the Bay of Fundy by his parents' house, which is actually just down the road from where I live. So, yeah. So apparently the body was thrown into the Bay of Fundy, and the tides took it away to wherever it went away. So now hopefully the family has some closure. I mean, they don't have a body, but it's going to be tough to find one. So yeah, that's interesting.
Jeez. Gruesome. All right. Tomorrow night, you can check out Hold Up, a movie podcast with me, Murphy, and guest Jody Simpson. Last time we talked about war. This time, with Jody, we are talking about spy movies. We're going to talk about North by Northwest, which I just watched yesterday, Ronin, and Atomic Blonde. I hadn't seen any of these movies before. We're gonna find out. I mean, you could argue
it really is.
North by Northwest is a spy movie. It's kind of like iffy.
I feel like you guys pick really far outliers, like so much so.
Well,
they're barely the movie that you think.
Purposeful. It's a bit purposeful. The theme stuff is a bit loosey goosey, but I don't want it to be too much. Like we could have just picked for spy movies, Mission Impossible and a couple James Bond movies, but that would be incredibly boring.
No, I think there are a lot of good spy movies, a lot of James Bond spy movies. Russia with Love's a great one. That would be a perfect.
I know,
example
but
of
like,
spy one.
it's just kind of cliche to pick a James Bond movie for the spy episode. Like,
I
we wanted to
suppose,
be
but
a
you
little
also
more.
are doing a movie podcast. I think you have some onus to actually do the movies that are in the genre you're discussing.
We are. This is close
Okay.
enough. If you look up spy movies, you'll find all. Well, I don't know about Atomic Blonde or Ronin, but you'll find North by Northwest.
No, I mean a lot of
But
those
again,
ones like
the spy
Atomic
stuff can be kind of a bit intangible, maybe in these picks, but
Atomic
it's
Blonde is
there.
almost boy.
It sounds
It's
dumb.
almost more of
and I feel like it's gonna
an
be
action
dumb.
movie than
I was worried about that.
would it have some spy elements than a real spy movie. I would have suggested Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I mean that one's a super
That would have
spy
been
movie.
better.
That one's actually a pretty accurate. Like it's a John le Carre novel, but it's pretty accurate as far as what real spying looked like in the 70s. So
He likes to torture me with mind-numbingly dumb movies. So
it was this Murphy. What did he pick?
Atomic Blonde.
Oh, it's actually a good movie.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it actually is. There's some suggestion that it's in the John Wick universe because by some of the people that work on the John Wick movies. It was like the movie they did before they did John Wick.
Also, check out Super Mater Brothers. They're doing reality shows. I think Survivor might be back, so they'll be reviewing that. And we also have the Mary Mater Society over there at Super Mater Brothers. Oh, did I not load up that either? I'm gonna load up that to show you.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so we're coming up next. We're gonna have Ant-Man Quantumania. That's gonna be lots of fun. I believe that comes out on the 17th. So check that
I am so excited for this. The advanced reviews are all really, really good.
Yeah, the Mater Marvel Society, Dave, Davan, and Jaemeel Quantumania review.
Everyone's saying that Jonathan Majors Kang is like a revelation and that this is like weird. This is Marvel.
He's a great actor.
Oh, 100%. They're saying he's one of my favorites, but they're saying this is like Marvel Star Wars movie. And Marvel does own Star Wars, but it's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Star Wars movie.
So you're trying to make me hate it?
Well, it's saying it's like it.
That's not a good thing.
Well, shut up. They're saying that Marvel.
No, but even like most Star Wars fans will still admit most of it's bad.
No, well, you're not talking to the right ones. But they say Marvel's really embracing the weird now, and I'm digging that. I'm super on board for the weird, the weird aspects.
Oh yeah,
of the Marvel
MODOK's there.
Yeah, but even just like, and it's hard to avoid when you travel around the outskirts of the internet trying to learn information without getting spoilers. You sometimes accidentally get spoilers, and I did accidentally read something about not about the movie itself.
I don't even want to hear.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying if it's about the post-credit scenes, and if they are what the spoilers were, it's awesome. So I'm very excited to see where they're going to go with all that.
Okay.
It doesn't ruin anything about the movie itself. Awesome. I don't know if Ant-Man lives or dies or anything like that. I don't want to know until I see the movie, but I'm very excited for it. So.
Me too.
Majors is one of my favorite actors, and Kang's one of my favorite villains. So together,
oh yeah, he was great on that show. What was that show?
Loki. Oh, Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, Lovecraft.
Yeah, it was a great show.
He was great on that.
Sadly, didn't get a second season. It should have. It was very good.
Well, but he died.
Who died?
The guy who played his father in that.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be enough to close the show down. They could have recast him, or I think it was canceled before he died.
Oh, was it?
Michael.
Also, check out the Hellbound podcast with Graphic History's next guest, Michael Chan and Alex Blackburn. They talk about horror movies.
Michael Chan was surprised to learn that I'm a co-host on this show, so I don't think he's like I haven't listened to it, and I said, well, I haven't listened to yours either, so. I've been meaning to. I said because I'm a big horror movie fan, but I haven't got around to
We're
it.
a big supportive federation here.
He said we'll have to listen to each other. Man, it's too hard to listen to everything. There's like 1,000 podcasts in this federation. I can't listen to everything.
I know it happens.
Like Star Trek. I like Star Trek, but I don't know about it as much as you guys do. I'd be at sea for most of your conversations.
Well, that's why you listen and learn.
If it's not about Deep Space Nine, I would
entry level.
If it's not about Deep Space Nine or Voyager, I probably haven't seen it.
So. A lot of it is. Well, we're doing Deep Space Nine review tonight. That starts in 15 minutes of the worst episode ever.
So that's why you're trying to rush.
If I show up on that, it's going to be for 5 minutes to just give them some stuff to talk about, and then I'm getting out. Don't even want to think about or talk about that episode. Also, check out KBBBL podcast. The extra B is for BYOBB.
What's the extra B for?
And that extra this week, it was for bachelor party strippers.
Oh, the what's her face? I can't remember her name.
Princess Cashmere.
Princess Cashmere. That's it.
We also have the trivial debates.
Man, the picture
Neil
Jaemeel
just
is
hosted.
iconic.
Oh, it is. It's the best. Yeah, I love it. Handsome bastard. Yeah, so check out Trivial Debates. Last one was on reality shows. I'm not sure what the next one's on or who's going to be on it or hosting it. I guess that's all up in the air right now. Could be anyone. There's challenges floating about, that's for sure. People get all ornery about the Trivial Debates.
Ornery. That's a word you don't hear very often.
Well, you know, I like to break out an ornery every now and then.
That's a good word.
It's not bad. And we also have, of course, Live Long and Podcast with our many, many Star Trek shows and review series and things like that. There's lots going on. Beautiful logos for a beautiful team. Look at those. Look at that handsome bunch. And we have the Command Division where they review Star Trek series like Deep Space Nine at 9 tonight. Check that out. There's also the Ops Division with Star Trek Radio Theater. We play Star Trek Online on there. There's also Writer's Room. We got to bring that back. That's been on the shelf for too long. And the Science Division, I got to throw a lot of stuff at the wall over there. We do probes, we do debates, and we do, trivia, all kinds of stuff. We learn. And of course, Locutors of Trek for me and Dave Puxley. We play music. We get into the deep weeds on philosophical issues of our time, but through the lens of Star Trek. And that's it. Any final words for the people?
Live well. Be kind.
Good thing to do. That's a good thing to do. Watch X-Men. Read
X-Men
it as well. All right. Good next time, everybody.
So long.
Please, go. I can't be seen with you anymore.
1, 2, 3.